Hello, you muscular monkeys, and welcome to my gaming grab bag, where I grab a bunch of games and put them in my bag. I figured I might as well continue with this terrible start, so why not? It's a good introduction. Anyway, first game we have today is Painted in Blood, which, as you can see, is very much a Doom, like GZ Doom or whatever kind of Doom mix 'em up engine there is these days. There's so many different varieties, and this is actually an extremely good one. As you can see from like the guns themselves, like some of the animations for like the hand, it's kind of feels like an upscaled version. And then it also like the art style has kind of that System Shock remake look. Like from afar, it looks like 3D rendered, and as you get closer, it has like that pixelated appearance, which I really like. The gunplay as well for this type of game needs to be good, and it is solid in this game. Everything is very responsive, it's fast, there's plenty of variety of each individual gun, and I really enjoy just moving around and finding secrets in this game. Many of the Doom games or Doom Engine games, they have that thing where they just cram a bunch of secrets in it. Some are more obscure, some there is no chance of you seeing, but this one actually helps out quite a lot, and I love the added horror aesthetic to this. Like there's some like hidden enemies, and you kind of have to like seek them out, which I really like. It kind of plays into that finding secrets but also finding hidden enemies, and gives you that nice little spookage on top of you having that curiosity like you're a giant cat. And there's a decent story to be told in this as well. And like you can take obviously paintings, find out more and more about our wonderful protagonist and all of the crazy workings that's going on inside his brain. But this is absolutely one that I feel you should check out. Really solid game, super responsive, and just has that enough of like quirks and differences to make it stand out in what is quite an overpopulated genre at this point. This really does hold its own. And then we go from the amazing to the abysmal with The Last Zone. This isn't the last game I'll be talking about because it's just such a catastrophe to end on. It is the most just cobbled together nonsense of a game, which uses some assets which you'll actually see in the next video, next game I'll be discussing, not next video, the next game I'll discuss after this one. And it shows like there's just a lot of just nothing into this game. It's overly complicated when all it is just that old COD Zombies wave-based shooter. Everything is so expensive for you to buy. There's a million like pop-ups that happen, and then when you try to like go back and read them, you just can't. So there's little things like being able to buy guns in this mode is overly complicated. Like you have to get some currency, whatever it's called. Let's just say it's money. Okay, get some money. You then have to buy them in the store. Then you have to have enough money to be able to build some areas to then be able to unlock the guns. However, the areas you need to unlock those guns are massively expensive as well. So you'll just find you'll have that starting pistol for way too long. And the gunplay is terrible. The guns seem to have range as well, so if you're shooting past like 50 meters with a pistol, sometimes it just won't even hit your target, and you're like, okay, maybe my bullets are disappearing. No, it just decides whether it wants to hit or not. This one, absolutely just stay away from. It is just a way to kill your brain and absolutely just abuses your valuable time. And third on our little bag of games is Outbreak Island. This one seems kind of interesting. Okay, it's like your typical post-apocalyptic scavenge, craft, that kind of thing, which honestly is fine. However, there was like a lot more emphasis on the horror aspect, and then I got to playing it, and it kind of was just like a whole lot of nothing really. Just it's very aggressive towards the player, and I don't mean that the difficulty is crazy. It's that it's doing everything it can to get in your way with like its mechanics. So crafting is overly complicated. There's just so many things. Like you will spend the first 5 minutes and notice your inventory is already filled with so many different things that you can actually like disassemble and break down. But you don't know what is important and what isn't important. And I will say there has been a patch since I played this game. But originally you had to then build tools like a hammer or a saw, which in every other game is extremely easy to find and scavenge, even when you have to actively get toolboxes. It's just unnecessary on what you have to do the most minimal progressions with this. The good thing is, like I said, there have been patches since I played this game, but it is a long, long, long way to even being like mildly entertaining. There's just a lot of moving from A to B in a big map, which is unnecessarily big. It needs to be just shrinked because there's just nothing to really do. There's not that many enemies. You'll find you'll die extremely quickly for some reason. You'll obviously run out of ammo super fast. The guns aren't enjoyable to use. The weapons aren't there. It's just incredibly bare bones. I apologize, my voice was dying there. But it's just that typical thing of this indie game has potential, but you have to wait a year, 2 years. Like, it is crazy. Like, early access just gets a bad rap because of similar games like this. If you just make the game fun and then put it in early access, like, most of it is just the basics of making a game fun. Don't waste the player's time. And finally, in this video, we have ODDRooM. Now, on paper, this game looked really, really interesting. It gave me kind of like that Postal vibe where there's just that random element to, oh, you know, this could be a cat now talks to you, or this cat has a gun, or this cat is a gun. There's many things where you are essentially just like anything you can think of, which is a bit strange, or like in a dream state is kind of there. However, what you'll find is this randomness gets in the way of itself. So there's a lot of effects, there's a lot of clutter, and it makes it very difficult to see in certain aspects. Also, the enemies just come in and out randomly, like they spawn kind of on you. And it's just annoying because a lot of the way to describe this game is random, but it is kind of what it's going for. However, it's clearly catered towards that younger audience where random equals funny, instead of actually a good script, a good writing, and good structure makes it funny. Not just a random element of, oh, look, my foot has decided to turn into a football. It's just because it's random doesn't quite make it funny. And that's coming from me, and I'm like devoid of humor. So it's just a bit tricky because everything kind of works, and there are elements with like the perk system, the skill system, which make it quite fun. However, there's other things with this random element and this clutter, which then just makes it quite tedious, and it feels like you're troubleshooting as opposed to just shooting the trouble that comes your way. Haha, see, smart writing. And that just came off my dome. But that's the thing. If there was just that little extra element of it focusing more on being a bit more entertaining and less being on random, this game will be a whole lot of fun, and I would happily recommend you play it. For now, I don't know, maybe there'll just be some updates or something in the future, and things will be changed, and it will be that much more enjoyable. Anyway, as always, everybody, thank you for joining me in my gaming grab bag, and I'll see you again in the next video. Bye bye for now.